that's considered the marketing savior for the sport.
So many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough.
Many people feel entitled to larger paychecks because they have more league experience than the rookie Fuming, and they are upset over Caitlin Clark's rich offer from a European team.
It's physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm.
As the highest paid player in the world, Caitlin Clark's departure overseas could signal catastrophe for the WNBA because it will finally give her the recognition she deserves in a league that appreciates her talent and is freed from players who want to see her fail.
Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn.
Why would Caitlin Clark continue playing in a league where the news causes even her teammates to turn against her? Nelissa Smith and DJ Carrington were spotted giggling at the widely shared eye poke incident, which brought attention to Clark's lack of support.
Ow! Oh, I'm sorry. You poked me in the eye. You're an 8-year-old. You did. I did not poke you. Did you do it on purpose? I did not poke you. You did it on purpose?
Nelissa Smith, a teammate of Caitlin Clark, was seen giggling when DJ Carrington imitated her, asking, "Did you do it on purpose?" Surprisingly, Smith didn't defend Clark, making her feel alone even among her own teammates during this widely shared jest.
They're like, well, hold on, man. This woman is booed up with the girl that poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. They're making videos making fun of Caitlin Clark in the eye poke. What is the Indiana Fever doing?
Instead of supporting Caitlin, her squad has posted highlights from Nelissa Smith's season showing no evidence of supporting Clark. Since the opposition players obviously don't want Caitlin in the WNBA and even her teammates are making fun of her, she should accept the offer from the EuroLeague. Once the WNBA realizes what they've missed, they will be pleading for her to return.
Wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place, it's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction.
Guidance: why is this move causing such strong feelings within the league? Caitlin Clark's contract with a European team isn't simply another move. It's a clear indication of the opportunities and differences between some WNBA players and others attracting attention elsewhere. Although Wilson and other top WNBA players haven't seen the same rich deals, Caitlin, a rookie to professional basketball, has already drawn international offers that even veteran stars like Wilson haven't received after years of domination. Longtime players who feel ignored by the league and the national team are irritated by the gap that Clark's ability to bring attention to.
And it wasn't to the degree of Caitlin Clark being on that basketball court and people watching her, but nevertheless, rising tide lifts all.
For A'ja Wilson, the underlying message that Caitlin's departure conveys to the rest of the WNBA is much more frustrating than the fact that she signed a contract to play in Europe. A'ja has long held the opinion that winning the league's MVP award should entail more than just winning a trophy. In her opinion, MVP status should inevitably lead to the best opportunities in terms of contracts and recognition. However, she is currently witnessing Caitlin Clark, who hasn't played as long or achieved as much in the professional world, receiving offers that someone of her caliber ought to receive.
There were a lot of people that laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
We don't have Andrea.
Remember, you got
we don't have any of the women, Chanae. They'll come back on. We'll revisit this conversation gladly.
When Caitlin was still playing at the collegiate level, her games were packed with fans eager to watch her play. But A'ja, despite winning MVP, wasn't attracting the same crowds at the WNBA level. This highlights the harsh reality that skill and accomplishment don't always equal financial reward, which makes A'ja's frustration even more intense.
The reason 12 million people are watching ESPN for a game, if that game was on CBS, they probably would have had 25, 30 million people watching that game.
DJ Carrington's hatred for Caitlin Clark is well known. The two players had a past together. and Carrington's bitterness reached a peak during the notorious eye poke episode, in which Caitlin suffered a black eye rather than expressing regret for her behavior. Carrington decided to make fun of Caitlin, which increased their level of hostility. This public act of contempt wasn't an isolated incident. Rather, it was a sign of a longer-standing animosity that Carrington had for Caitlin.
No one would even know her name, Nylisa Smith, if she played on any of the other 11 teams. She was the second overall pick 2 or 3 years ago in the WNBA draft. Decent player, but no one would know. She played with Caitlin Clark. People know her name. She has no gratitude. She has no respect. She can't tell her girlfriend, hey, we ain't doing that.
Although Carrington is a talented player in her own right, she hasn't been able to attain the same level of success or recognition as Caitlin, which has led to a sense of resentment that was only made worse by the eye poke incident for Carrington. Carrington's resentment is probably a result of Caitlin becoming the face of women's basketball in a way that Carrington hasn't been able to. It seems like a personal blow that Caitlin's quick ascent to fame is being given preference over someone who hasn't put in as much effort.
Producing the most watched WNBA games in over 2 decades. What does that tell you? That tells you that before Caitlin Clark came along, it wasn't nearly as popular. It doesn't mean it wasn't growing in popularity over the last 2 to 3 years. But 3 years ago, WNBA was an afterthought.
Carrington's actions are especially concerning because, rather than offering an apology for the harm, she seems to enjoy Caitlin's misfortunes. Carrington made fun of it by making fun of Caitlin in a way that seemed to indicate she liked watching her suffer. This type of behavior transcends professional rivalry and becomes personal. Carrington has been disrespectful and resentful of Caitlin, and Caitlin has had to cope with this throughout her WNBA career. Following the eye poke incident, Nylisa Thomas has joined DJ Carrington in their mutual animosity towards Caitlin Clark. Nylisa showed little compassion for her fellow player when she was spotted giggling with her lover about Caitlin's injury. This type of behavior is appalling, especially from someone who wants to be a professional athlete. The league may have a bigger problem if Nylisa and Carrington find amusement in Caitlin's injury.
Anything above board, it doesn't matter what Nylisa Smith does. She can go out and mock our meal ticket, the best player in the league, the person that's making us all rich.
Caitlin is extremely concerned about this degree of hostility because she believes that the WNBA should be a place where players help one another and collaborate to improve the league, but instead she is dealing with open hostility from her peers, which fosters a toxic environment where players actively seek to undermine one another in addition to competing against one another. Not only was Caitlin's injury an on-court mishap, but it also came to represent the animosity she encounters from players such as Nylisa and Carrington.
Has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Caitlin didn't bring citizens to the WNBA. This has been happening.
In professional sports, a team is meant to represent a safe and supportive environment where players are united in a common goal, winning games and achieving success together. It's about trust, collaboration, and solidarity, especially during difficult moments. However, Caitlin Clark's reality with the Indiana Fever has been anything but supportive. Rather than coming together to support her after she was obviously injured, the team seemed unconcerned and failed to publicly defend her or even acknowledge the situation in a meaningful way.
All of those who think it's funny, could you imagine if it was the roles were reversed? If Caitlin Clark, 2 white girls, made a video mocking it, what the reaction would be? I mean, let's just be honest. I don't want to go, what about Favre? But what about Favre? It's the truth.
Caitlin may have felt betrayed since not only were her efforts ignored, but her own squad appeared more concerned with praising others' accomplishments than with safeguarding one of their best players. This circumstance for a player like Caitlin, who has contributed significantly to the WNBA, isn't receiving support from her teammates and coaching staff. The lack of support Caitlin received isn't just about one incident, it speaks to a larger problem within the team culture. For any athlete, especially one of Caitlin's caliber, feeling alone or unprotected by your own team can be emotionally draining. In this case, Caitlin said that her personal well-being and contributions to the team don't carry as much weight as they should.
All I gotta say is she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's not. That's wrong, Molly.
Monica?
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's excuses.
5 top players,
it's excuses,
am I right?
Molly. It's
Major injuries.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen, excuse me,
go.
it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
you
A.
got there.
Wait a
No,
minute.
want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you, if
Paige
Georgetown
Becker-
gets back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige Beckers didn't basically miss 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking about Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has every reason to think about relocating to Europe, considering everything she has gone through in the WNBA. There, she would receive a higher salary, encounter less animosity, and be able to continue developing her brand free from the WNBA's relentless negativity. Without the controversy and negativity she's currently dealing with, Europe gives Caitlin a new beginning where she can concentrate on her craft and continue to draw in new followers. The WNBA may suffer greatly as a result of Caitlin's relocation to Europe. Without her, the league runs the risk of losing its biggest star and its expanding fan base. If you liked it, please leave a like. Caitlin has raised awareness of the WNBA more than almost anyone else, and her exit could result in a sharp decline in viewership. The WNBA is already having trouble competing with other major sports leagues, so losing someone like Caitlin could send it into a tailspin. Additionally, subscribe to see more videos today.